So, earlier today, I posted on Facebook and Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, at McTaggart Attack. I simply said I'm recording a podcast later today. I'll read it for you. What the fuck? I'm recording a podcast today. Got any questions for me? I just thought of posting that on like a whim. And I got like half a dozen questions on Facebook and one or two questions on Twitter. I think I'm just going to stick with the Facebook questions for this episode since they gave me more questions. Makes sense, right? Anyway, so I'm just going to answer questions. I don't know really what these questions are. I'm not sure how I'm going to respond to these questions. This is like a blind answer to these questions. I did look over them earlier, but I really don't know what my answers to these questions are. Hopefully you find them entertaining today. If not, I don't know. Hopefully you find something out of these questions that I'm going to be answering. I will post the questions in the show notes of this episode so you can, read along or something. Anyway, the first question comes from Lesley Zebrowitz, and she's asking, why do I have so much trouble choosing what to eat at a Mexican restaurant? Taco, burrito, chalupa, it's all the same thing, just rolled into different shapes. Exactly. That's what I've always thought about Mexican food. It's basically all the same stuff, but you just have it all wrapped differently. That's all it is. Whether you want like a huge burrito or a taco or taquito, is that even a thing? I don't know. That might not actually be Mexican. That might be more of a Tex-Mex thing. I'm not really sure, but it is really weird. But I guess you just, that's it. How is it that hard? How is it that hard? Because it's she's right. It's basically all the same thing. It's basically all the same thing, just wrapped differently. And I don't know. It's really a bit of a scam, but it's delicious for those that like it. For those that enjoy Mexican food, it's delicious. And it's a bit of a scam, but it's still delicious. So that's a good question. And she makes an excellent point because it's basically all the same thing, just wrapped differently. And who cares though, because it's delicious. And that's all that matters. Unless you don't like Mexican food, then well, I feel sorry for you. Let's get to the next question. The next question is from Mule, fellow Vermont comedian. Why is it they want you to have 10 different passwords but lock you out after 3 wrong attempts, right? How many passwords do we have to remember nowadays? This is just... It's ridiculous how many passwords we have to remember nowadays. I forget most of the passwords. There's at least once a week I have to create a new password for something. I mean, why are we even relying on passwords nowadays? Why are we even relying on passwords nowadays? That doesn't really make sense to me. We shouldn't have to rely on passwords in this age of like, we have facial recognition for like phones and stuff like that. Why don't we have facial recognition instead of passwords? Why don't we do that instead of having to remember all these passwords? Plus, like, much to Mule's point, why do we only get 3 chances to get it right if we have all these passwords that we have to remember? We need to be given more chances to get these passwords right instead of just 3, because that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. The next one comes from Lesley Zebrowitz again. I guess people could have asked as many questions as they wanted, and Lesley had another question. Why do people say they didn't get your text or phone call, but use that device to call or text? Why did they say they didn't get your phone call or your text? I don't mean to break this to you, Lesley, but they did get your phone call or your text. They were just lying to you because they didn't want to talk to you. That's why. Just took a rather somber tone here at the McTaggart Attack podcast, but hey, content. Anyway. The next question is from my brother-in-law, Stephen Sheppard. This is a good question. Why do people keep on trying to solve the problem? Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Why do we give a shit about this question anymore? I don't understand. I feel like this question, there's no answer to this question. Because it's just like, you can't have one without the other. But I feel like people ask this question as a tactic to just confuse you to stop having the conversation. You know, it's not really a question as more of it's like an analogy. Of like, what came first? We don't know. What the fuck? We don't. Because like, ultimately you get to, oh, well, God made chickens. I'm pretty sure Kentucky Fried Chicken made chickens. Let's get real here, okay? I mean, honestly, that's... But it's just, to me, I think that question, which came first, the chicken or the egg, is just a question that, you know, not really a question. It's just a tactic to distract you and help the other person win the argument. So, the correct answer to which came first, the chicken or the egg, is go fuck yourself. That's the answer to that question. You're welcome, Stephen. Let's see, fellow comedian Jason Marby. How come my bank wants to know what my personal loan is for? Yeah, like, why they don't need to know what my personal loan is for. They just need to know if my credit is good enough to pay back the loan. It's a personal loan. I'm going to use it for whatever I want, on whatever I want. Just approve me for it, and I'll use that loan for whatever the hell I want, because it's a personal loan. If it was like a business loan, I would understand you wanting to know the business I was trying to start, because you'd be investing in it, sort of, so to speak. But if it's a personal loan, the banks don't need to know what the hell my personal loan is for. As long as I pay it back, that's all that matters. You can't be too nosy trying to find out what the hell my personal loan is for. I mean, god damn it, banks are awful. Let's see. Do I have any other questions? I have one more question, but I kind of regret. I have one more question, because this question screwed up the entire Facebook post. This question was asked by Peter Pardoe, fellow comedian. He was trying to be funny with this question, but it failed miserably. Why can you buy sex toys on eBay, but not Dr. Seuss books? Who the fuck uses eBay anymore? Seriously. What decade is this? 1997? And we still using eBay? You still using eBay? The hell is wrong with you, Peter? Plus, like, everybody is in such tizzy over this Dr. Seuss thing. They decided not to put out 6 books that nobody read anyway. I looked at a list of these books. I've never heard of them before. Who cares? We're getting upset about banned books? Seriously? So they didn't want to put them out anymore because they thought that the creators, the publishers of the books, didn't want to put out the books anymore. It wasn't that they got outcry for it or anything. They made the decision not to put out the book. But people, like, see the title of a damn article and get all upset over nothing. It's just like those stupid potato head people. It's pathetic. But, like, he posted that, and it started, like, a huge reaction. I got most of my comments were because of his stupid-ass question. So thanks for the stupid-ass question, Peter. And thanks to everybody else's questions today. I had fun answering these questions. I did on Facebook. There was one question on Twitter, but I think I might actually make that question an entire podcast episode at some point once I have the courage to actually talk about it. Because I need to do some more research before I answer it. But how's that for a tease, huh? So thank you so much for the questions. I really appreciate it. Even that stupid-ass question from Peter Pardoe. Because he's an idiot. And I feel sorry for his girlfriend. Thank you so much for watching and or listening to the episode today. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to let me know what you thought. And that's the bottom line. If you smell what the McTaggart Attack podcast is cooking.